This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Monday, September 9. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. The start of the new legal year got underway today with the traditional pomp and pageantry. Chief Justice Sir Marston Gibson says issue number 1 is clearing the backlog of cases which he estimated was between 900 and 1,000 cases. On Sunday, Attorney General Dale Marshall announced the appointment of several new judges, and Sir Marston served notice that they will be immediately put to work once they receive the instruments of their appointment. He announced that 5 judges will be assigned to the criminal courts, and the first matters on the docket will be murder cases. 4 secondary schools will reopen their doors on Wednesday after missing today's start of the new school year. Word of this from Education Minister Santia Bradshaw as she told several schools which did not resume classes. Schools to reopen on Wednesday include Alexandra, Grantley Adams Memorial Secondary and Princess Margaret Secondary. Frederick Smith Secondary will, however, reopen next Monday. Bradshaw said her ministry took the decision to stagger the opening of some schools at the start of the new term because major works being done at those sites are still not completed. She said she was sensitive to the issues of teachers and children operating in environments which were not conducive to their health. She stressed that every effort is being made to complete the repairs to avoid any disruptions after teachers and students have settled into the new term. Now, even as several schools remain closed, the first day of the new school year got off to a smooth start for most. At the Ellerslie Secondary School, Principal Lieutenant Colonel Errol Barfitt told Barbados Today his charges settled in well.
We are off to a good start this morning. I just addressed the students briefly at assembly just to let them know that they're attending the best school in Barbados, first of all. And I do that because I need to encourage my students, and I don't want anybody letting them believe that they're not at the best place. So I say to them, we are at the best school in Barbados. I highlighted some of the results as it relates to the CSET and CATE, and I kind of asked them, where do you want to be when that time comes for you in terms of how many subjects you want to leave with. So having said that, I said to them, the senior teachers and the department heads will engage them relative to the expectations of uniform and working towards success, and that's basically it. But I think that they are ready and raring to go. So I hope to continue with this energy that they have come here with this morning. So we've gotten off, as I said, to a good start. Everything is in place for a smooth start to the term.
Over at the private Eiffel Primary School on Hinesbury Road, St. Michael, some students told Barbados Today they were happy to be back in the classroom.
That I could do better in my maths.
What else? You're looking forward to being with your friends, learning new things?
Yeah, learning new stuff and being with my friends, yeah.
I'm feeling great. I missed it from the vacation, and I miss all my friends, I miss my principal and my teachers.
Principal Akil Eiffel is also looking forward to a good year. He says several changes have been made to the school's program to benefit students.
We wanted to have the students spend more time on not just academics, but the sporting aspect and the creative arts aspect. Last year we had a whirlwind year. We were the most talked about school, the most followed school, the most controversial school in a way, so to speak. But our 4 terms have proved that people need more programs where the children spend time in school. And this year we will have our secondary school take CSEs. So the second form students will be taking CSEs as part of the syllabus, and it's something that we will be doing every year. And retraining of teachers and looking to retain our boys volleyball title.
In sports, Pollard has been appointed the new captain of the West Indies One-Day and T20 teams. The announcement was made Monday at a Cricket West Indies media conference. The 32-year-old Trinidadian replaces Jason Holder, who previously led the One-Day unit, and takes over from Carlos Brathwaite in the shortest format. Pollard, largely a T20 specialist, averages 25 from 101 one-day internationals with 3 centuries, but has not represented the West Indies in the format in nearly 3 years. In T20s, Pollard has played 62 matches with an average of 21 with 3 50s.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional happenings, catastrophic modeling and risk management company Karen Clark and Company estimates that Dorian caused $7 billion worth of damage to the Bahamas. In its report, the company estimates insured and uninsured losses on...
If you've been to Marsh Harbor, you've seen that you can't really see throughout areas because it's you know, there are buildings, there are trees. When you come into this city, you can see one end to the next because everything's flat. Literally every building in Marsh Harbor is damaged. Trees have fallen. There are no branches, so trees that would kind of hide subdivisions, they're actually gone. It's just utter devastation. Trees, everything has turned brown and has dried up and died. And it's literally a ghost town. And people are those who are here are trying to remove debris of the roads, to clear the roads. But this is Marsh Harbor.
Further afield, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson lost influence over Britain's withdrawal from the European Union on Monday when a law came into force demanding he delay Brexit until 2020 unless he can strike a divorce deal at an EU summit next month. It is unclear what Johnson's next move in the Brexit crisis will be.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson appeared undaunted by the Brexit crisis on Monday during his trip to meet the Irish Prime Minister in Dublin.
So I have one message that I want to land with you today, Leo, and that is that I want to find a deal. I want to get a deal.
But Prime Minister Leo Varadkar warned Johnson that even if a deal was struck, agreeing a future free trade agreement would be a Herculean task. He said Johnson must make specific proposals on the future of the Irish border, the most contentious issue of the Brexit deal.
In the absence of agreed alternative arrangements, no backstop is no deal for us. All it does is kick the can down the road for another 14 months. Another 14 months of uncertainty for business, another 14 months of uncertainty for people north and south of the border. So that's not an option that we find attractive at all.
Those blunt remarks laying bare the difficulty of Johnson's gamble to use the threat of a no-deal Brexit to convince the EU to rewrite the withdrawal agreement. Upon his return to London later on Monday, Johnson will again seek a general election, something the British Parliament has so far refused to grant.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.